Hello, hello, hello. This is Els Kimney from Bemis Crafty Corner, and this may look familiar, I don't know. I remember making the prototype, this prototype. I don't remember that I ever filmed the video, but the Amy saw it. She wants the tutorial. She looked through my videos. She said she couldn't find it. I looked through my videos and I couldn't find it. So, I'm going to do a new tutorial on it. So, but here's the fun part. I don't actually remember how I put this together. So we're going to do this together, trial and error. I do believe I started out with 4 file folders. And basically it starts like this. There's a big pocket here and a big pocket here. And then there's a pocket here. And there's a notebook that is stitched in. Pocket over here. Big slash pocket here, big pocket here. Open this up, you have another pocket here, another pocket here, and then this opens up and you have a pocket here, here, and here. I know, it's a little weird, but we're going to give it a shot and see if I can reproduce this. If you can find the original video in my video catalog, let me know. Put a link in the description down there, you know, in the comment section, and we'll link the 2 videos together and we'll see which one I did better in, okay? So I'm going to get out some supplies and I'll be right back. Okay, so basics. Trimmer, scoring tools, scoreboard, glue, some waxed thread and a needle, a hole punch to put some finger tabs in, by my best guess, 4 file folders, at least one that is a middle tab for this flap right here, and some paper to cover it with. This is probably not what I'm going to end up using, but you know, it's an idea. But the more I look at it, the more I'm going, I don't think so. But I never know. Okay. So we're going to be taking a look at this one real quick. And this one is 8 inches by about 7. It's got a 1/4 of an inch. Looks like just about a 1/4 of an inch. Yep, about a 1/4 of an inch spine. It's got some extra scoring here in case, you know, this needs to be extended out, because it gets fat. And by the best of my knowledge, this is 1 file folder. And then this is a file folder. And this, so I think there's 4 folders in here, because this is 1, the outside is 2, this and this makes 3, and this part makes 4. Does that make sense? I hope so. So I'm going to deconstruct this visually to make this one. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut these all down to 8 inches in height. Let's see what our width is, our overall width here. Okay. All right. I have a general idea. This one, obviously, we're going to want to cut the same distance off both sides. So, Let's go ahead and cut these down to 8 inches. We'll get the big cutter for that. These are my pockets, I'm thinking. Okay, 8 inches we have. Extra pieces we're going to save for pockets. And this one needs to be 8 inches. And let's see, it is 11 and a half. 11 and 3/8 actually, I think. Let me see. 11 and 5/8. Ooh. So 3 and 5/8. Let's take 1 and 3/4 off the first side. 1 and 3/4. Okay, and then 8. Okay. Now the rest of this we should be able to handle in a smaller cutter. All right, so I'm going to do some measuring here to see what I have to take off where and what has to be cut where, and then I'll be right back, okay? Okay, so I think I've got this worked out. We're going to do the first, okay, here's our natural fold. We're going to do the first 1/4 inch. Make sure it's all nice and lined up. And then from there, it is 6 and 5/8, which is 1 line past 6 and a half. Okay? Better put that pencil, there it is. And we're going to chop off the end. Now I've already cut off the, you know, the little indent part. Okay. And then we're going to do some quick scoring from that fold. The natural fold. We're going to go at 7, 6 and 7/8, 6 and 3/4. That's going to allow that kind of roll for the cover. And that's the cover. We got the cover, okay? So now let's move on to the next one. So the next piece is this. And I can see it's stitched here. And it's kind of wedged in here. So this one, this piece is one piece, and then this see. Okay. So this is a gusset here as a hinge. And that is what holds this piece on. And then this is a solid piece, and then you have this piece, and that's a gusset. So let's do this. So we're going to take the second one, and we're going to cut it down to this width. Which for anybody keeping score is 6 5/8. And both sides are going to be at 6 5/8. So we're going to go ahead and just cut that. See how much fun it is when we're just being silly? Or when I don't remember how to do things. Alright, so now we have this piece that's at 6 5/8. That's our book in there. And then, rather than have this hinge and this hinge, I'm going to cut this piece at 6 5/8 on one side, and on the other side I'm going to cut it to the depths of this pocket, which is 2 3/4. Okay, so this next one, we're going to go 6 5/8 on this side. I have the perfect measuring tool here and I'm messing around. 6 5/8. Take that off. And then we said the other one was 2 1/4. Two 3/4. We're going to do this side at 2 3/4. And then we're going to cut those off. Okay. And this one. I will write all this down and put it in the description. Alright, so now this piece goes around this piece. Like that. Which goes in to this piece. Oh, we are getting someplace. Now we have one piece left to do. And that is this piece. Now this piece is a little bit trickier because this piece is this piece. And then this is a piece on top. So, I don't like this. So we're going to fix it. I'm going to move some stuff around real quick and clear some of this, some of these cuttings. I don't want to get confused. And then I'll be back and we will measure the next one and cut it. I'll be right back. All right, so this piece is 6 5/8, both sides, this side and this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this one down to 6 5/8. This is what happens when I put things away. All right, so we're going to go 6 5/8, which is that number between 6 1/2 and 6 3/4. It's that mark, okay? 6 5/8. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim this off. And then I want to do something a little bit different on this. So to create the pocket over here, it comes down 2 inches. But I want to leave a 1/2 inch here as a flap because I don't like this in the original piece. So I want to put a little flap on there so that stays glued down. So we're going to mark out a 1/2 inch here. Okay, and this ruler is actually 2 inches. So I'm going to put the ruler on there. That's the part I'm taking out. Okay, just for giggles, I'm going to do it by hand. I'm lousy at this. But if I can do it, anybody can do it. Here we go. I did it! Okay. So now this is that big pocket that opens the other way, like this. This will be glued down. Then we'll have this, which will be stitched in. We've got some pockets to add. I think we've got it. All right, that's the base. I'm going to go ahead and clear my desk, and we'll get some paper out. We'll cut some stuff. We'll cut some pockets for this, and we'll get it put together. I'll be back. Okay. So this pocket is now being created by this page. So that means that we need this pocket and this pocket. And I have to say that I'm thinking those 2 pockets were created by just rounding the corners on one of these. So we have those. Then we have this, and this pocket looks like it's just one of these. So we'll put one of those in there. This pocket, and this pocket, again, I think they're just made out of one of these. One and one. So the only thing that we don't have accounted for are these slashes. 1, 2, 3, 4 slashes. Yes. And I think I can get 2 of them out of this piece. So let's square this up. Then we'll go ahead and cut 2 slash pockets. Now, because it's kind of long, I'm going to need the bigger cutter because it will not fit diagonally in the small one. So that corner to that corner. going to create 2 diagonals, and I will find a scrap to create the other 2. Alright, so once I have all of those done, yeah, see? I think that was exactly what I did. So we have one there. One there. Alright, and then we'll still need 2 of those. I'll cut those later. So let's take a look. First is these. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this part off down here. And then we'll cut this off so that they're even here. And I'm going to mimic this with my large corner punch. And of course you can just, you know, put something circular on here and just trace it and cut it. But I think that's pretty good. Maybe make them a little shorter. Yeah, I like the smaller look better. So I'm going to put this on this side of the book. Get rid of that. What's next? Okay. Then there's this. And then there's this one. And we know this is 8 inches, so let me cut off this end. Oh, let's see. All right. Take a little more than 1/4 of an inch off here. This should perfect. Those are the 2 we still need to do. And then here, trim this off. This is the side that has the 3 lines, so we're going to get rid of those. And then this one has to be 6 5/8. And this one is 6 5/8. So just going to straighten up this edge, put these together, put them in, chop that part off, and then we should have this one and this one. And I want this one. This one's going to be a little smaller. Okay, so we still need 2 corner pockets, which I will cut out of scrap. These are all of our pocket pieces. I'm going to put them over with our blank for our folio. All right. Let's see what we have. Okay, I have one piece of this left, which I can use to make a shallow corner pocket. That'll work. And that just leaves a short one pocket. So I will get out some scrap. I have some of this around. I'll get out some scrap and I will cut another pocket for this. And then I will come back and we will see if I can put this thing back together again. Now that we've torn Humpty Dumpty apart. So let me go grab a scrap and I will be right back. Okay, so now that we have all of our pieces cut, we have our outside piece, and then we have our two pieces that are going to create our notebook. On these, you're going to fold that first 1/4 of an inch, just like you did on the top, on the cover, so that these all line up together. Okay? And now, as for sizes, it is 8 inches tall, so everything in here is 7 3/4. And then whatever you cut on one side is basically what you're cutting on the other. So this is going to be a 7 3/4 by 6 1/4, 7 3/4 by 6 1/4. Since all the pages are pretty much the same size, 7 3/4 by 6. This one is short by 1/4 of an inch because of the tuck. So 7 3/4 by 6, and then we're back to the 7 3/4 by 6 1/4, 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 7 3/4 by 6 1/4. You see a pattern here? All right, then this one is 6 1/4 across, but it's only 3 inches tall. And this one is 6 1/4 inches wide, but it's only 5 3/4 inches. This one is 7 3/4 by 6 1/4. This is actually the piece that is covered by this pocket, so you don't need anything here except that one little piece. You do not need anything here. And this we're going to cut out separately, and then your outside again is 7 3/4 by 6 1/4 here. Okay. Measurements are all going to be in the description. Okay. So I'm going to cut a bunch of 7 3/4 by 6 1/4. I'm going to mind my direction, and then I'm going to look at how they lay next to each other. So, to that end, this is one of those projects where I'm going to recommend that you use a paper pack or a pad, because they're generally coordinated. So this piece in this pack works with this piece, it works with this piece, it works with this piece, it works with this piece, here, 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 and those are stripes. So as you can see, all of these pieces are really going to work next to each other. They're either the same color or they have the same colors in them. So this is what I'm going to be using for this one. This is oh, I don't even remember where I get them. But I'm going to be using this set on here. Excuse me. So I'm going to start cutting my pieces, and when I get these all cut, I'll come back and then we'll talk about the pockets. Okay? But we're going to talk about getting these cut, inked, and put on, then talking about pockets, and then putting the whole thing together. Okay? So I'll be back. Get these pieces cut and inked, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I have cut all my pieces and inked them all up, and so the next step here is going to be to put the page pieces down, and I'm going to be using the bigger glue on this one that I usually use on my books, but only because it's a very large page. So I have put them in here in the order that I want them, so I can take them out one at a time, turn them over, and glue them down. Alright, that's one. And then I'm going to turn this. This one's going to go here. So I'm going to go ahead and... It's going to be this side up. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on this one. Now you could use a brayer or... you know, a credit card or something like that if you want to press this down and help kind of distribute the glue. This is my pocket. And this is the piece for that. So we're gonna take that one out and go ahead and put some glue on this one. Now, if you're using double-sided paper like this and you're not sure that you're going to remember which piece is which, when you're figuring them out, just go ahead on the back and mark it, but that's the back, you know. Now this piece does not need to be a full size because this one is going to be under the pocket. So this one was just a piece that was really too small, but works because it's a little narrower. I'm going to line this one up on the outside edge. There we go. And that way the pocket will cover. And it's a little off center. Let me see. I can get this a little straighter. Try that again. Lining up on the outside edge. That's better. Okay. And then I have this one, which is this piece here. Glue on this one, and I'm just going to go through and finish all of these, and then I'm going to get out my my leftover pieces, and we're going to go through and do the pockets. So let me just get this one down. And I'm just going to continue through with these. And we don't need to see me do these, so I'll do those off. We're going to now deal with this part. So this is the flap that comes out this way. So this is the piece for that, so we're going to glue that one down. And then, if we lift this up, this is that pocket, and then this is the back piece of the pocket. So I'm going to do this one. And then I'm just going to flip this one out of the way, and I'm going to put this one down. And because this one is the pocket, we're going to line up with the top and the two sides with this one, because this part is going to be covered, okay? So. Gluey, gluey, glue. Yes, it's the song of my people. Gluey, gluey. Okay. Now, I'm going to line up on this one because this has got that 1/4 inch. Okay. That way, when this comes over, that's going to be all you'll see, okay? Alrighty. Turn that. And then this is the back cover. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the rest of these down off camera. And I'm going to let this dry. And then when I come back, we're going to work on the pockets, okay? Right back. So we're going to take a quick look at our prototype. So there's a pocket here, which we've already incorporated. Then there's a slash pocket, this kind of bowed pocket here, a bowed pocket here, another slash, then there's a big pocket here, a slash pocket, another slash pocket here. And then when we open this flap, we have 1, 2, pockets here, and then a pocket over here. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 slash pockets. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I decided to alter them just a little bit. I do have an extra one just in case, okay? And then these two, which I have right here, and these are just simply leftover pieces of the file folder, and I used a big corner rounder here. You could use a circle die if that's what you have. And then we have one big pocket here. And then when we open up this one, this pocket is created from this piece. So we just needed 2 pockets, one here and one over here. So we're going to go ahead and measure those and get our pieces cut for them using the leftover scraps. So let's take a look at this one first. This piece is 5.5 by 3.5. So I'm going to cut a piece for this that is 5 1/4 by 3 1/4. let's make a note. 2 5 3/4 by 3 1/4. And then these two pockets are 6 5/8 by 3 3 1/2. So we're going to go, let's see, I need two that are 6 3/8 by 3 1/4. That's going to be these two. Then this one is 8, so one piece that is 7 3/4 by my width, just 3 1/2, so 3 1/4. Okay, and then I'm going to cut these, and then we're going to do something different with these. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so we're going to be working with these pockets first. So what I do here is I just take my paper and I cut it to the size that matches my square, my, slashed pocket. And then I bring it up twice the distance. And I go ahead and put a line on there. And that's my cut line. And then I'm just going to put this in. I'm going to put that line just like that. And then when I bring that back, you're going to see I get that nice even bit. And then I'm just going to trim my corners here. And there it is. I get a nice mat that fits, and I'm going to do this with all of my pockets. I'm going to ink everything, and then I'll be back and we'll put them all in. Okay, so I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I have inked all of these, and we're going to put them down. Now I have them in the order that they're going to go in the book, just because it makes it a little easier for me to see it. That has a pocket that goes there, and then these are our two semicircled pockets. And now I've inked all of the pocket mats, but not the pockets, because I didn't want to ink the actual piece. There you go. So I'm going to get all these put together all the way through, and once I have them all done, then I'll come back and we'll install them, and we'll get this finished. There's just a little bit left to do. Okay, so I'm going to get all these glued down, and then I'll be back and we'll get everything all put in. Be right back. All right, so we're going to start kind of the install process here. So if we go to the very front, there's nothing on the front because you have your flap that's going to close there. So that's going to be our first pocket here. It's going to be a slash. And so we're just going to glue this down. I'm going to use the art glitter glue to do this. One, because it gives me a much more fine line, and two, because it just makes it easier for me as the glue pretty much attaches quickly, whereas the other glue that I use has a little bit of wiggle time. All right, so we have that one. We're going to open this up. We have our two rounded pockets. What I have found when you put a mat over a mat, sometimes you want to use your sometimes you want to use your scoring tools, you know, to be able to press that down so that it really grabs. So I just use my bone folder to kind of press that down. And we'll go ahead and flip that. This is going to be our next one. It's going to go over here. Right on here. And then I'm skipping this page, and we're going to take a look at that in a minute. This one is going to go right over here. Then this one is going to go on this one. Now this is the flap that opens. So. There we go. This one is going to go on here. It's a nice tall one. And then this opens this way. So this, for a moment, we're going to deal with on its own. So we have a pocket over here and a pocket over here. And we need to make sure that we leave just a little bit of space here. So I'm going to trim this just a little bit on both sides. Go. And I'm going to go ahead and put this one down, and then I'll trim the other one as well, just to make sure that, you know, I can open and close this without any problem. And then this one I think is going to be okay. I don't think it needs to be trimmed at all, so I'm going to go ahead and put this one down. If you want to put a thumb tab on here, or you want to gusset the pockets, by all means do that. Yeah. So that is our piece that flips this way. Let me get this out of the way real quick. I'm going to bring this back, and now this gets mounted here. just like this. So it's going to be glue on this piece, glue down, glue across, glue up. Okay. Since this piece is stationary and it doesn't move, we can glue that whole top. And that creates our stacked pockets here and our pocket over here, okay? And I'm just going to use my bone folder to make sure that I get that glue well pressed. If I don't, I'll just come in and add a little more. Okay. Now, this piece flaps over. So in order to make this, you know, flap over, you can round the corner, or you can take a notch out. So what I'm going to do is get out my 1-inch circle, and I'm going to take out a corner. Okay. That gives me a little place to pick that up. All right. I'm going to let everything dry, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about that other spot that I left blank, and we're going to get out our linen thread and needle and some paper to make our notebook. Okay. And we're going to get this put down. The whole thing, it's a process. We're going to get it done. All right. So I will be back in just a minute and we'll get started. All right, so we're going to start the notebook portion. And when you're putting in the paper, you kind of have to think to yourself, you know, what is this going to be used for? Well, the person that I'm going to give this to likes to take notes. So I'm going to put in some lined paper, and I'm going to put in lined paper that actually tears. So I'm putting in, now you can see it literally goes top to bottom. So what I'm going to do is take that top piece off. And that's it. I'm just taking off that little top piece. Okay. Pretty good. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to take that off. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now that I've cut that off, I need to, you know, round my corners so that I match them. All right, now everything matches. I can go ahead and stack my pages. Boop. There we go. And then this is going to open. And I'm going to put this in the middle of that 1/4 inch seam that we have. Right where I want it, which I think is right about there. And then I'm going to clip this in. Now normally, we all know I don't clip anything, but I don't want this to move. And then I'm going to take that 1/4 inch and put it over that 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to put this on to some foam and poke some holes. Now you can do the whole template if you want. It is entirely up to you. But I am going to wing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, pretty good. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to start on the inside. We're going to go through the paper, through the layers of the book. If I can get it to all stay together. There we go. Alrighty. Now I'm going to use one of my clips here as a weight. That's just to keep, you know, everything from coming through. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in my next stitch. And everything centered. There we go. Ha-ha. And then down through the next one. Back up. All right, I'm going to finish stitching this in, and once I have this stitched in, then we'll move on to the next part. I'm just putting this thing together. Down through that one. We're coming back up. And then we're going to tie this off, and that's going to be going underneath those two threads, pulling against each other. The right one goes over the left one goes over the right one, or, you know, right over left, left over right, right over left, whichever you prefer. And we're going to trim that. And now we can glue this flap. Okay? And the reason we didn't glue it before is because we didn't want to glue it off center, you know? So we're going to glue this flap, creating this pocket. Now, on the original one, let me show you. I had the stitching along the outside, okay? But on this one, I'm going to leave the stitching hidden by gluing it into the seam. Okay? Get this put up, and I'm going to get the rest of the book out, and I'll be right back. All right, so that part is done. And then we're going to move on to assembling this. So I am going to get out some of my 3-in-1. Now you could use tape if you wanted to here, but I just don't think that the double-sided tape is going to be strong enough. So I'm going to use some 3-in-1. And I'm going to put it on my little spine right here. Now, you can also use rubber cement if you want on this. this part. And I'm going to line this 1/4 inch up with my 1/4 inch here. And I'm going to let the whole thing dry. Okay? Some clamps. Hold those together. I'm going to let the whole thing dry, and then I'll be back and we will walk through the next part, which is going to be this flap. Okay? I'll be back. All right, so to cover the flap, once we have our mark, we're going to get 2 pieces that are 2.5 by 8 inches. Okay? And we're going to cut them just a tad bit. We're going to take just 1/4 of an inch off of one end. Okay? One-1/4 of an inch. All right, that's going to give me 1/8 of an inch on either side. Now, my flap is 2.5 inches from here to here. So we're going to have this little part here. So how do we get rid of it? Well, we just cut it. All right, so this is my outside piece, and that's going to be my inside. So I am literally going to just glue these down where I want them, and then I'm going to trim just around the edge. Okay, so I'm going to put some ink on the ends here and a little bit along the back edge. And then we're going to put some glue on here. And I'm going to put this right where I want it. Okay, and then I'm simply going to use a craft knife or my scissors, whatever, to trim this off. Okay. And I'm going to do this on both sides, okay? Now I know where my 4 inches is. Let's see, which way am I going to put this inside? This way. So again, I'm going to glue this down. Making sure I get this nice and centered, top and bottom. Turning it over and trimming this off. again, if you are not comfortable using a craft knife, by all means, use your scissors, okay? Come off of there. Thank you. A little closer right there. Okay. Take that off. And then I'll go ahead and ink this. All right, now we know where our 4 inches is. And that is our center. Making sure that it looks like it's still on center. Okay. Little dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, right here. All right. I'm going to clear this desk and I'll be back and I'm going to show you how we're going to put this end piece on this, okay? Be right back. All right, so on my dot, I am going to use the small hole punch and punch a hole. Okay, and on this one, we're going to use a little one. All right, so I'm going to get my twine that I'm going to use for this one. I don't know. What color shall we use? Too limey. Nope. Gray. No. Just white. Gets too dirty too fast. Okay. Let's see. New. I think we'll just use black. All right. And what I want is enough twine to go around it at least 2.5 to 3 times. Okay? So we're talking about a yard. Let me see. It's a slight hair more than a yard. Okay? I'm going to tie a knot on one end. I'm going to tie the other end, but I'm not going to tie it. Okay? And we're going to get some tools out for this one. Okay. Little hitting board. And a little baby hammer. Alright. So I'm going to turn this over because this is my outside and that's the part I want to work on. This is going to come up through like that. I'm going to put my string around my post. I'm going to put my cap on to my little post. And then I'm going to hammer this together. Okay, cut off that end. That is it. It's on there. Let me use my tweezers here real quick to kind of tuck everything in a little bit. Okay. Nice and finished on the inside. Nicely finished on the outside. And we're just going to be able to go around and just tie it on itself, you know? Okay, now, I left one page in here undone. Let's talk about it. All right, so on the undone page, which is right here, you could add a belly band here and put a pad in. You could add another pocket if you want to. You could put a slot on it if you want to, however you want to handle this page. I will probably end up putting in a notepad, okay, because I have the room in here for a notepad, so I'll probably go ahead and put one in. But that's it. That is my little folio, all done. If you don't have these, use a brad. It's okay. If you have a hitch, use a hitch. Whatever you want to use that you can put in there and safely wrap your string around to, you know, hold it together. That's it. That's all I have. If you're new here, go ahead and hit the button for me and subscribe. Like me, ring my bell. You know what? I don't care. Thumbs down. Doesn't matter. It's still interaction, right? Let's see. What else? Check out the description box below for some information on all kinds of fun stuff that we got going on, both here and in my group. And if you want to know what I have coming up, go ahead and check out my community tab, and that'll give you a list of everything going on in my digital life. Until I see you again, stay well, my friends. Bye-bye.